Remember when James Gunn said Complexities?
And did you have any more updates on Static Shock? That's another fan favorite of mine.
Yeah, no updates on Static Shock. That's there's a whole bunch of complexities behind that character right now.
My name is Chillmonger, and this on screen, not Free Palestine, this on screen, Batman Beyond and Static crossing over reveals just what the plans are for James Gunn in the DCU, but you need some backstory. Milestone is the creator of the Static Shock character. Static is what they actually call him. We all just call him Static Shock because, the cartoon. But the cartoon happened, and the relationship between DC and Milestone Media became one that was symbiotic for a time. Dwayne McDuffie, creator, owner, founder of Milestone, died. When he died, 2011, his widow, Charlotte Fullerton, was someone who believed she owned the estate. She believed she had some rights. My version of the story is that she restricted the character, allegedly. This is all alleged. You can ask whoever. You can say, well, she wasn't given compensation, this and that. They did a thing called Milestone 2.0, which wasn't the same as Milestone Media, and left her out. And that's why the creators of Milestone and her didn't see things eye to eye. There was court cases, and there was a whole decade plus of the character Virgil Hawkins Static not being featured, except the times where it was featured and how old he was. During this New 52, Static Shock was a little bit older, and this was a DC imprint. So when Milestone does something, teenage Static Shock, Virgil Hawkins Static, he's younger. You get that? When DC does it, when it's their imprint, he's a lot older. So Milestone rebooted like 4 years ago because Black Lives Matter, and we got 6 comic books of Static Shock. They did a season 2 where there was like 8 comic books. We had a few other Static Shock appearances, and these are all DC under the Milestone imprints. Do we understand that? Milestone Media, they got the rights to this teenager Static. So do you understand why James Gunn told pay or wait? There's a whole bunch of complexities behind the character right now.
A whole bunch of complexities behind that character right now.
What? Right now? He said that a month ago. That was a right now thing. It sounds like there's some progress being done to work on the complexities. For him to even ask and know and learn about what the complexities are means that he's done some sort of, he has desires to use the Static Shock Virgil Hawkins character. You don't know freaking every complexity about not even your top 20 character in the comic books. I mean, he learned about that. He knows what I just told you about Milestone. He knows more than what I just told you about Milestone. He knows something that the industry people know. Let's take it back to that time that I was joined by Spoiler Kings, a Chicago-based YouTuber. His name's Brian. He was chilling with John Boyega, and he gave us an encounter. It's very relevant. We'll pick up when Brian says he was wearing a Static Shock t-shirt.
Yep. So, I had it on, and he was like, hey, what's up? So I'm in line. He's, pointing and speaking, and we get up there. He's like, hey, man, so you an older Static. So you like, how James Gunn is going to run it, with the older level of Static Shock. And I was like, what? Wait a minute. What'd you say? And then he just kind of just kept on running with it and just going real quick. And I was like, what do you mean? And then I started thinking about it. Milestone is who started off with Static Shock. So if you go into with a teenager, you have to pay Milestone because they created that character.
Yeah, this was a 2011 series from the New 52 Static Shock.
Exactly. Yeah. So once you go to New 52, he gets a little older. I have that one. Well, when you went to the DC Milestone 30th anniversary, when you look at that, he's even older then. Okay. So I don't know if he's.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And DC created that part. Okay.
Okay, so now there's Milestone that creates the character, but DC also owns a version of the Virgil Hawkins Static IP. And if they're going to put one in a movie and they want to worry about rights, they'll use the DC version.
And it makes sense now. I don't have to share a Milestone who's still trying to make their way back, but they don't have to give them money now.
What happened when you asked him more questions?
So of course, I was like, well, so what are you talking about? So are you trying to tell me you're going to be Static Shock? He said, I'm not saying anything like that. That's not what I'm saying.
How else would he know that if he didn't audition, though?
Exactly. How else did you know unless you hear it? He's not telling me that, but obviously he had a conversation about it.
So let's add it up. James Gunn knows, and he publicly states this, that there are complexities behind the character. And then John Boyega, an actor, also knows that there's complexities behind the character and that they would go with the older version. That's what DC's trying to do. How would he know that? I wonder if he did audition, or he knows people in the Hollywood circle who audition. The next thing is that they probably don't want to have to pay for Milestone, will they? Well, Let's cut over to the newest news from 3 days ago. Terry McGinnis and Virgil Hawkins go beyond into a bold new future. It would appear that an older version of Virgil Hawkins is there in a comic book with Batman Beyond. And read these key words: a bold new 6-issue limited comic book series launching this fall under its DC Elseworlds imprint. Here's something else to chew on. The series unites two of DC's most dynamic heroes, Terry McGinnis and Virgil Hawkins. That's not a DC hero, unless this guy up here is the DC hero. That's actually what they told us in the Milestone 30th anniversary, when Virgil Hawkins interacts with Batman Beyond. This was drawn by Evan Narcisi and Nicholas Draper Ivey, the same creative team who are going to be doing the new static comic book collaboration between Batman Beyond. This happens so that there's source material, so that there's no arguments about, well, you barely even use that character anymore and the rights should revert back to us. If you're not complaining, Milestone, about this, then you can't complain it. Virgil Hawkins, the DC older version, belongs to us, and we don't have to pay you. Does everyone lose in that situation, though? No, not a single person loses. If I'm Milestone, if I'm struggling, if Shadow Cabinet 4 comes out and, it's been a little... They're struggling. Just take my word for it. I don't got to get into the business of it. Why not have Static Shock, even if DC is having to own it and they're not paying you for it? Why not have Static Shock be a popular character back in the movies and TV again? You're not definitely going to do it. You tried to make him float as a comic book character. So if I am Dennis Cowan, Derek Dingle, sorry, I forgot Reginald Hudlin's name. Or if I'm anyone inside of Milestone, I'm going, okay, good, yeah, go. Use the character, go. Have it, make him famous. Maybe some of that will convert, because we only need, 3 or 4 extra thousand people to become comic book fans. And once you convert those movie fans to comic fans, Milestone starts getting some traction. It'll be consistently in the comic book shops, not the movie theaters. And that is a plus. Those are the complexities. These are the signs that Static is no longer an iced character and there's a path forward with him. James Gunn doesn't want to waste 4 years of a TV show from when we were younger at an era where other things when we were younger, Freaky Friday, they get reboot, Happy Gilmore. There's things that we are adults now for and will be willing to spend money and revisit and share with the next generation now. That sweet spot of 20 years ago up until maybe even 40 years ago, because I think Star Wars, it took 40 years from 2015's Force. Anyways, there's nostalgia dollars that exist, and now's about time where you strike on that. DC should be using Static Shock and Virgil Hawkins, and since there was so much difficulty with Dwayne McDuffie's widow, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I'm lying on a widow, but since there was so much difficulties, I'm just like, yo, let's go with it. Let's make people who buy comic books but don't buy Static, but they buy Batman and Batman Beyond, it's just like the TV show, let's have them convert into Static readers, because the two will be collaborating. You can't get one without the others. And maybe now when Milestone tries to launch Static Shock season 3, not the TV show but the comic book, if they try to launch that, people will buy it who are Batman fans. This is only helpful because Milestone has proven, or the results have proven, that Milestone isn't selling well enough to continue profitably. DC is holding this company up. There's a reason why there hasn't been an Icon or a Hardware in over 2-3 years now. 2 years? It's struggling. This is helpful. The more you know. Hey, what you can do, if you want to read comic books about Static and about, you can go pick them up at your local shop. If you want to just watch a video covering it, Chillmonger has the greatest fucking Static Shock video on YouTube. Chillmonger is not lying to you or trying to boost himself or trying to get you to view this. It's done, and the algorithm is not going to be pushed anymore. This is the best Static Shock video on YouTube. Static meeting Anansi, the spider, as told in canon.